Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Daredevil Born Again, Season 1, Episodes 5 and 6. And those episodes are called With Interest and Excessive Force. Welcome, everybody. Take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the videos pop at the very end here. One pops up here, one pops up over here. Basically, what YouTube does, it takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos, my vast video library, which is like over 1,000 videos now, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, which I kind of screwed up this week, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. Yeah, I forgot to change out my schedule. This is the only thing I've got going on this week. I'm actually going to WonderCon this weekend down in Anaheim. So yeah, it's we'll see what happens there. If there's anything to report, I'm not too hopeful on that, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, let's get down to it, shall we? Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episodes. If you have not seen the episodes, go and watch them. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. So, yeah, the With Interest episode is a bank heist. It's kind of a standalone episode where Matt goes in to get a loan to expand the firm and gets denied. Uh, and of course, who is the assistant bank manager who's helping him? But Camilla Khan's father, Miss Marvel's father, Yusuf Khan, and after Matt walks out, of course, these guys come in to rob the bank, and it's the same guys who caused some commotion down by the docks, right? They did a hijacking down there and killed two guys and basically causing Mayor Fisk to tell them, they need to pay $1.8 million in restitution. So basically, what they're doing is they're robbing the bank in order to pay this thing, right? Um, Matt, of course, walks back into the bank, and Yusuf, of course, does not know the combination of the safe. And Matt has to do what he does best, which is, not let anybody know that he has superpowers and can knock people down and all that kind of stuff. So he ends up, we end up finding out there's no money in the vault. There's actually just social security boxes, and in one of those boxes is actually a diamond, which is worth a lot of money. It's an uncut diamond, and or not an uncut diamond, just a kind of a dirty diamond, if you will. Diamonds come in different colors sometimes, and that one was kind of more of a caramel color. So um, it's a decent standalone episode. It's fairly formulaic for the most part, but it did what it was supposed to do. It kind of breaks us out of the routine of what we've been in this season, and could it be called a filler episode? Possibly. Um, I didn't mind seeing Yusuf in there. I mean, yes, they do mention that, Camilla is in California with her friend, her friend who got into college over here in California. And also it could mean that she's, with the West Coast Avengers, Young Avengers, whatever. But no, she's actually with her friend, most likely, who got into college. We found that out at the end of Miss Marvel. So yeah, a decent episode. It's okay, but again, like I said, there's a lot of how can I say this? It's a lot of boring writing is really what's going on in this season, and it's fairly slow. It's formulaic and predictable. Um, so much so that we go into episode 6, um, excessive force, and we're seeing both what's going on with Matt and what's going on with Mayor Fisk. And um, Mayor Fisk has just pretty much had it with mayor life. He just wants to kind of go back, I think, to being a mobster. It really is what's going on, and he's frustrated with the level of bureaucracy is what's going on there. And again, we get another cameo this time around by the swordsman who we saw in Hawkeye. Jack Dupree, I believe is what it is. His name is. Um, so yeah, we get to see him as well, and that was a little bit of fun in that one. I mean, he's brief, but we got him in there. Um, in the meantime, Angela, White Tiger's niece, comes to Matt saying, "Hey, my uncle Hector, he was looking at something. He was actually onto something about these murders that were happening and people disappearing, and it was leading him to the subway station, this abandoned subway station." And Matt's like, "Well, what the fuck you want me to do?" She's like, "Something," and she ends up going off on her own, like we know she's going to do. Matt gets the call that she hasn't gone home. So, of course, he's like, fuck it, puts on the Daredevil costume and goes looking for her. Of course, who finds her beforehand is Muse. That's the name of the character, the villain that's dressed in white, Muse. And I said this, I believe, in the previous review for episode 4. I pretty much spelled out how things were going to go on this one. In the comic, by the way, I'm just going to take a little aside. In the comic, Muse was a little bit different. He actually has some super strength in the comics, and then his weird ability in the comic was Matt, with his powers, with his radar sense, wasn't able to sense him. So Muse could actually, I guess, mute himself from Matt's radar, which Matt also has super hearing, so he should be able to hear Muse's heartbeat as well. But that's neither here nor there. Again, like I said, writing. You need to get your writing. So this Muse does not have that, as we see when Matt finds him and beats the holy fuck out of him. But he has to, of course, save Angela from dying because Muse is sucking out her blood. And in the meantime, the Department of Sanitation finds out they're trying to clean off the murals that have been going up, and Muse is the one that's been putting up these murals, and they find out they can't get it off because it's made up with epoxy. And the sanitation guy decides to test the epoxy and finds out there's blood mixed with the epoxy, and that there's different DNA strands in there, and there's possibly at least 60 different people that this blood is coming from. Um, Yeah, so we have a serial killer obviously in our hands. Fisk does not want to release this information to the public because he knows that Muse will go underground. And instead, he ends up putting together a task force of all the bad apples that are in the New York City PD. And, these are all the guys that, have the little Punisher tattoos or whatever. And yeah, they're the guys that basically they're taking their and again, we see this in real life as well. These are the cops that have their Punisher logo on the car, which they shouldn't because yeah, that's not what cops do. So, or what they're not supposed to do, shall we say. And yeah, he puts that all together. In the meantime, he is so frustrated with shit. We see him go to where Adam is, where he's, holding Adam in the cage. And he says to Adam, he brings Adam an axe, throws the axe inside the cage, and says, "When I was younger, he goes, I would fight guys 3 times my size. And what I found out was if you had the right tool, you could take them down." Remember that for later on, because again, like I said, this is really piss poor writing that's going on in this series right now. Um, what I'm predicting here is that Wilson Fisk is going to use. Um, he knows that Matt Murdock is Daredevil. Obviously, he's going to use this. He's going to release it publicly. Muse is going to realize that Matt Murdock's girlfriend, the psychologist, is also his psychologist, and he's going to end up killing her. And that's going to drive Matt into a rage. Matt is most likely going to somehow or another both defame Wilson Fisk and also beat the fuck out of him as well. They're both going to wind up in jail, I believe, by the end of this season, is what's going to happen here. That's my prediction, or at least at the end of the next season, because I know we have 9 episodes this season and 8 episodes next season, is what we've got going on here. Um, yeah, it's fairly predictable. It's kind of by the book. It's kind of cookie cutter-ish in a way, and I hate being able to see this just because the writing is so bad. And again, I wish they would get rid of the Netflix writers. We don't need the Netflix writers, quite honestly, unless they bring the guys in from season one. Stephen DeKnight, those guys were awesome. Having the Punisher, the Netflix Punisher series writers sucks balls because, yeah, it just boring ass shit. That's all I'm going to say. And just piss poor writers. Daredevil deserves better than this. It's not as bad as it could be. It's definitely not Secret Invasion bad. Um, but yeah, it needs a bit of oomph. It needs some writing. It needs something else than what we're getting right now. And yeah. So at the end of all this, Wilson Fisk has beaten the shit out of Adam, thrown him back in the cage. Uh, Matt is basically Daredevil. He's back. He saved Angela. He's restarted her heart, and he's gonna, I guess, take her to the hospital so she can get blood put back into her. And Muse has taken off because Matt was trying to save Angela from dying by giving her CPR, and Muse took off. He revived himself and took off. So that's where we leave off in this whole thing. And yeah, we know that Frank is going to come back. Frank Castle is going to come back because he's got to deal with those cops, the bad apple cops that are using his symbol, and he's going to be really pissed about it. And I'm kind of hoping he does. If the showrunner does this well, which I don't have any hope in hell of it actually happening, it should send a message out to real world cops using this symbol that, yeah, that they shouldn't be doing that. So yeah, that's where we leave off here on this in these 2 episodes. We've only got 3 episodes left. Is that right? Yeah, because yeah, 7, 8, 9, and they're going to be releasing one a week. And if you're wondering why they did it like this, it's because Andor is coming out in April. They didn't want it to run over, which is kind of stupid, quite honestly. I don't understand why Disney Plus does not want to have 2 series running. You could just do them on different nights. It's not that big of a deal. And quite honestly, the way this series is paced with Daredevil, they could have dumped this entire season all at once and people would have just binged it, quite honestly, because that's really honestly how you want to watch this. It's you want to binge it more than I'd not say binge it. You kind of want to get through it because it's slow and you can actually fast forward in some parts, quite honestly, because a lot of stuff doesn't happen. The one thing I did find kind of funny though in this was, and again, this goes to Vincent D'Onofrio being such a great actor that he is. Um, when he's meeting with society, and society is basically telling him, "We hold all the cards. If you'll be here for a couple of years, that's great. But once you're out, you're out, and we're not giving you any money. You're not going to be able to do anything. It's going to be status quo, blah blah blah." And as he said to Vanessa at one point, that it's just another puzzle for him to solve. And usually that puzzle ends up with him smashing something, quite honestly. So it'll be fun to see what happens when he breaks, because I mean, right now he's using Adam in order to get rid of that steam, I guess you could say, that him being that upset. That's what he's using Adam for, is to get out that frustration of him being mayor and not being able to do what he wants to do. So With that said, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Like I said, I'm going to be at WonderCon this weekend, well, Disneyland really, and I'll end up posting probably some stuff on Instagram, some pictures and whatnot. I am going to bring a camera down, and if there's anything interesting down there, I will record some stuff and maybe put some stuff up. We'll see what happens. I mean, really, the only panel that I'm mildly interested in is Invincible. They're going to be talking about season 4 of Invincible. But pretty much everything else down there, they're like, oh, we've got the hairdressers for Game of Thrones, or we've got, the script handler for Peacemaker, or stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, this isn't WonderCon that I know. The WonderCon I know, or knew, I should say, was a lot better than what's going on right now with this. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, not holding my breath. Um, Thank you to my lurkers out there. I saw there was 2 people that were in the chat, and thank you if you're out there watching the video out here. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the take a look at the videos that pop up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up here. Either way, just for you. And if you like what you see up there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, also like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com and take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. Also, if you look underneath the schedule, you'll see a list of future stuff that's coming out. Like April 3rd, we have The Bondsman coming out, which is with Kevin Bacon. And I know I've said this before. It's basically Brimstone, which is an old Fox series from 1999 about a lawman who dies, uh, gets recruited by the devil to hunt down demons that have escaped from hell. And if he doesn't do the job that he needs to do, he goes to hell himself. And so he gets to stay on Earth and be with his family and blah 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 blah. So that's what we've got going on there with the Bondsman. Will I be covering it? Most likely. I don't know if it's going to be dropping all at once or if they're going to be doing. That's a good question. We can actually go and take a look right now. I'm on IMDb as it is, and we'll see if that's actually dropping all at once or if they are doing, once a week episode drops here. Da, 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 there we go. Oh yeah, they're dropping it all at once. So April 3rd, they're going to drop the entire thing. Is how they're going to do that. So that is going to be an is it worth my time? Because yeah, I'm not going to be doing episode by episodes for something that's dropping all at once. Yeah. All righty. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again probably next week for Daredevil. For the wrap up of Daredevil, well, not wrap up, I should say, episode 7. There we go. Episode 7 of Daredevil is where we're going to be at there. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again next week. Have a good rest of your night. Stay safe, be well, take care, and yeah, have fun out there. And if you're going to be at WonderCon, don't look for me. I'm kidding. If you see me, you'll know where I'm at. You probably won't see me, but I'll probably be at Disneyland most likely. Thanks, everyone. I will see you again next week. Have a good rest of your night. Take care, everyone. Good night.